Good evening, everyone. Um, Thank you so much for the enthusiasm about the sunglasses cases. And, we've got a lot of pre-orders. We're making a whole bunch of the nylon cases, and they are available for pre-order. And I just wanted to talk briefly about the research process that we went through to make the case. Now, this is the first one I made. I made this one by hand after we got some beta cloth. And you see I've been carrying it for quite a while. It's about a year with the sample plastic that I had. But, this is real beta cloth and it takes abuse. But over time, it kind of degrades and stuff. But it's really neat to have the real thing. And speaking of the real thing, very proud to announce sort of one of the things we've been using for the last 2 years to develop these was images and measurements from the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum website, which is phenomenal. If you're ever looking for stuff, the Smithsonian Air and Space website has some amazing catalog items in there, so check it out. Become a member. Actually, you can get some more insights. But sort of in the last few weeks, this kind of came together from a mutual friend of Al's and mine. But this is Al Warden's flown Apollo 15 sunglass case. It is the real beta cloth. It is the real deal. You see serial number 1049. This is the real one that flew to the moon. And actually, he brought it on Mr. Rogers when he did his parts on Mr. Rogers. You can see this is a nice flight worn. We consciously made the decision to make this a little bit larger, to make our version slightly larger. They are almost identical in every way. We just scaled ours up just a little bit. Even the snap is scaled up. Just a little bit so that everything is in proportion with each other, the triangles and everything. So if you saw these side by side in a photo, you might not realize that this is actually about a ½ inch wider. It's about, I don't know, about 10% larger than the original. And I'll explain why. The original, the way the sunglasses went in, it only fits the 52 millimeter sunglasses. There is no room to put any other size sunglasses. It's a very tight fit up at the top. There is no protection for part of it. And also the temples don't go inside the case. It's too tight for the temples to go in. So they hang out on the outside, and then the flap covers that. So if you had a larger pair, or if you had a different type of sunglasses, something, you couldn't use this with anything else. It just worked with the 52 millimeter sunglasses. These are not his flight flown sunglasses. I just have the case. I don't have his sunglasses also. Though he wore our sunglasses for several years because Al loved them. So ours is a little bit larger on the inside. We purposely made it that much wider, and they completely enclose the glasses, and it completely, it gives them more protection. And you can put 55 millimeter pair, or if you have 57s, they fit in here as well. Or if you have another type of sunglasses already, or your regular glasses will fit there as well. The original style case, the original spec case would not do that. So like I said, we scaled everything up by about 10% to make it more usable every day. But in essence, it's exactly the same thing. I mean, they are a 10% increase, but other than that, it is exactly the same. If anybody has any quick questions, I can take some questions. Or if you guys want to see more close-ups of a flight, space flown Apollo piece of history, I'm happy to give you some more close-ups. So that is the real deal. And you see the texture of the fabric there. That is, woven fiberglass. It is fireproof. And you see the back side of it. You can see there's a little bit of schmutz. These are 50 years old. And when you open it, you can see the tag on the inside, or the stitching from the tag on the inside, the little mule ears that are turned down and stitched, and the plastic liner, which has changed color a little bit. They yellow over time. And that is loose, actually, though there's a hole in the front of the liner so that if you wanted to rivet the snap through the liner and the cloth case, you could, but they are not. It does basically line up. We've done the same thing. This one doesn't have a data tag sewn on yet, but this is a fresh one. But other than that, I mean, like I said, we made it a little bit wider. It's about half an inch, half to 3/4 of an inch wider overall. And the like, you know, the plastic liner is deeper so that you can put other size glasses in. But like I said, it's really limiting. The original is very limited on what you can do, but ours is much more usable. And we thought that was a decent trade-off to be able for you to have something that's, you know, an everyday Apollo kind of thing. Apollo every day. Where did those sunglasses go? So just like that. And through these sunglasses, Al saw the moon up close. He was the most isolated man in the history of mankind on the other side of the moon in 1971. So anyway, this project just kind of came full circle for me. And this has been a really nice piece of history. I'm proud to be the caretaker of this for the next generation and, you know, pass that on to the next caretaker at some point. And in the meantime, I'm really, really proud to be able to bring these out to the public and you can enjoy something like that. I know Al would have been proud to see people enjoying the sunglasses and the cases. And yeah, so the original inserts. So some questions here, Joe and Larry. The original insert was plastic. I mean, it's an ABS plastic, and that's exactly what we have recreated. This is an ABS plastic material. This is our version. Let's see if I can take this out without, you know, it's tight in there. I'm not going to take this one out, but I do have another one. They were the military issue version of. There was a military issue version of this case that was kind of a rubberized canvas or like a plastic kind of pleather material, and they just used they used the plastic case out of that, the inner case. But that's what it is. That's what's inside. And we had these custom done. They were 3D designed by Brandon Franklin, who's a friend of Lunar Replicas, and then we had them injection molded and done in a big batch. So those are on their way now, but it's pretty impact resistant. These are pretty tough. If you jump on it or something, it'll break, but it won't, I wouldn't run it over with anything, but it's very protective for what it is. It'll protect the sunglasses really well. So the difference between real beta cloth and our beta cloth, there is no difference. The beta cloth version that we're bringing out, which isn't listed on the site yet, we'll be doing ones in real beta cloth, like real NASA produced beta cloth, or it's made by a third-party company, but they're made for NASA. So it is the same beta cloth as was used in the Apollo program. But the standard version, the nylon version that we're doing, is a 400 denier nylon, if I can find it. Well, here we go. Here's some right here. It's a denier nylon. It's like a combat nylon, and it's the same thickness and about the same texture. So this is, if you can see it. It has some. It's real white, so it's difficult to get the texture. But this is beta cloth, and this is the nylon that we'll be using for the cases. So it's pretty similar. Beta cloth has a little bit of like a yellow tinge to it. It's not pure white. It's kind of like an ivory kind of color. It's pretty white. It's less than ivory. It's like an eggshell white almost. This is a little bit more like snow white, but it handles very. These are the bags that come with the jackets, by the way. This is the new version of the jacket bags we're doing in 400 denier nylon. But it, in person, it's actually kind of difficult to tell the difference. It is not a technical fabric. It's not fireproof and stuff like that. Like beta cloth is. Beta cloth you could use as like a flame blanket if you wanted to. It really is. It's fiberglass. The nylon is not quite as sturdy as that. It's not fireproof, but it feels the same. It's about the same way. Roughly, it's basically the same experience. And we spent a long time trying to find this, and our friend Anthony Kovacs actually helped find the material that was as close as possible. And Anthony makes some wonderful stuff out of that. If you haven't checked out Kovacs, Anthony Kovacs' company, that they make some really cool stuff. So we will be releasing the beta cloth version. I only have 10 of them at the moment, and they are a little bit more expensive than the standard line. The standard one is $29. Beta cloth version will be a little bit more. I have to figure that out now because we're still finishing them, and it's harder. It's a lot harder to work with that material. You can't iron it. You can't pin it. It really has to be done all by hand. So it goes a lot slower. It's just a little bit more difficult to work with. So that, and the fabric is very difficult to get, and it's very, very expensive. So we'll have those available probably early next year once the nylon versions are done. And the plan is to keep the nylon versions in stock always. So that'll be one of those things that we always have. And we're offering the nylon version with sunglasses. If you buy it with the sunglasses and the case as a set, it's a little bit off. It's about 15% off or something. It's like it winds up being $5 off if you buy them together. So as soon as those nylon ones come in, we'll be shipping all of those. And yeah, this has been great. Like I said, today's been kind of a very cathartic day when FedEx showed up and the original case was in it. I just, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. Check out the links. There are still a bunch left for pre-order. We'll be making many, many more. And we'll go from there on the nylon version. Watch for announcements for some other products we're coming out with. We might do some more. Now that we have found this fabric, we might do some sort of replica bags and stuff like that. Something that if we can get an original piece to copy off of, maybe we'll do a replica bag of. I do have an original pilot preference kit, the PPK. So that might be next. That might be a fun little project to do. And yeah, it's really cool to be able to offer this stuff to the public and be able to share these things with everybody. So hope to talk to everybody soon. Everyone have a very nice rest of your weekend. And I look forward to bringing some more stuff out in 2021. It'll be a great year. All right, everybody, take care.